What's going on? Welcome to the Five Things Deeped. It's the five things I deeped about, man. I am furious. I am furious. Oh my god, I'm furious. I'm so upset. No fucking shit behind me. I'm mad. Like, there's no words. This is bullshit in it. Let's be real. I'm supposed to get through five things, and all I'm gonna do is just bring people on the show. But actually, let me do it. Let me respect myself. Let's go. All right, Durex gang. There you go. Wagwan. Free seats. Hello. How you doing? Let's go. First things deep. Ole out, bro. That's it. First thing deep is Ole out. Ole showed like a lack of knowledge, a lack of in-game management, a lack of understanding, a lack of literally Oli lacked everything. Oli today lacked because today was about how good is your manager? How good is your manager? What can he do to, let's say, change the state of this game? What can he do? What changes can he make? How could he be smarter? What positional things could he do? How could he set us up to win when we're not winning? This is what he should have done. Oli made no changes, yeah, in a final. Literally, like to what second half? When the sub is saying, surely they gotta make a change. That's more than a signal. That's more than a sign. But no. Oli doesn't make any changes, and then when he does decide to make changes, they're changes for the decade. Oli decides, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take off Pogba, and I'm gonna bring on who? Was it Fred? Dan James? Oh my god, no. Our manager, and listen, Rashford was, you lot know I love Rashford. I'm the biggest Rashford fan. Rashford wasn't playing good. Yeah. But he says, you know what? I need to go. I'm going to take a Greenwood and keep Rashford on. It's fine. What is wrong with our manager? There's no words. I can't. I hated everything about today. I said he has to win a title. Ollie's proven his level. This is his level. I love him. Always be a legend of the club. I love Ollie. 99 happened. He did that for me. Like, I will never I don't hate Ollie. I don't hate him at all. Like, I love Ollie, but that's it. This is it. This is your level, bro. And I believe there's better in the world, to go to another level. Yes, Mourinho didn't work. Yes, LVG didn't work, but Ollie's a manager needs to win silverware. I'm sorry, this is Man United, people. I know some of you will say it's progress, it's this, it's that. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. Anyway, shit, I'm gutted. I can't even do that. You know what? I'm gonna bring Brad in. He's gonna help me with the five things deep. There you go. No, that's not the one. That's undefeated, mate. I'm in
Undefeated, definitely
the
at the top.
mud. I'm hurting, Bradley. 1 second. I'm just gonna try and sort out this background and all this shit. I'm hurting.
This is better.
They
This is more me.
yeah, it's gonna come, it's gonna change. There you
Yep.
go.
There we go.
Shit. Go on, Bradley. Second thing deep. So I just said Ollie out. I don't know what your thoughts are. We'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, second thing deep, tell me out, please.
The second thing deep isn't exactly Ollie out, but it's somewhere close to that. And we're going to go really deep here, and a lot of everyone's going to touch on it. Even the strongest Ollie inners will touch on it. But the substitutions really are showing Ollie for. I was about to say a mad word there. I was going to say fraud, not a fraud, but for this, he's not a top rate manager. There's
Yeah,
not one top rate manager you can name me that doesn't make a sub the whole game and then makes
yeah.
the weirdest subs. He brings on Fred for Greenwood when
Oh my god.
Rashford has maybe had his worst performance in a United shirt after being rested for the last 3-4 weeks, given 20
Yeah,
minutes here. I
yeah,
know, and we've touched on the show for a load of times. He's been injured for a while, but he's been rested, and everyone thought, right, okay, I was agreed with him starting, but it just wasn't working. We're seeing it wasn't working. Then he brings Fred on for Greenwood, but not Rashford. And you see Greenwood's reaction when he's gone off. He looks disgusted. He looks like he's hating life. And then, just before the penalties happen, Pogba comes off. Instead of maybe Luke Shaw in the last 10 seconds, take him off. Or even take Twanzebe back off again and say, look, I know it's a wee bit embarrassing, but I'd rather have a Pogba taking a penalty than you. You know, like weird subs on the back of not making any subs. And if you think about it, they made 5 substitutions and they didn't look any worse than before they made the 5 subs, while we had made none. So it just goes to show you, they have an ethos. They have everybody in that squad knows what they're doing when they're brought on at any time.
Yeah.
But what you see is Ollie does not have the strength of mind to go, right, I've trained this person to when they come on at any moment, they know exactly what to do. They'll follow my instructions. And that's why I'm going to sit up with my legs crossed and sit up like this, like you see him do. I can do that because I've drilled this into this person. From the minute he walked in here, he knows exactly what I want him to do if I bring him on. But Ollie can't do that because he knows that there's no ethos, there's no culture. What style of play do we play? We don't know. So even though that was the Spanish Burnley we played tonight, and it's not beautiful football, they know exactly what they're doing. So they can make 5 subs and they don't look any worse. Ollie doesn't trust the players on the bench. That's why he lets them play every game till they're injured. Then he'll eventually throw 1 or 2 of them in and then make strange subs like we're seeing tonight. So it just shows you, really, we don't have a style of play that he can rely on. That anytime...
Yeah, sorry. I'm just saying, Paul's upset. Let me quickly get into this. That's just how I'm being honest, guys. Wait, hold on. Ahad says, KG, I'll not be joining. I'm very sad right now. All Blaine's 3 people, Lindelof, Ollie, and the Glazers. Nick is off. He took everything off. There you go. Why didn't he bring on Hendo for the pens? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make to wait, hold on. Someone's really got it. They're like, KG, man. There you go. Paul says, KG, man, don't do this. He's upset that I feel this way, but I feel this way, man. And I don't know if I feel different in the morning, but as I feel right now in this state as I am in right now, I'm gutted. Like there's no way to dress it up. I really wanted to win this cup. I really wanted it for Ollie. I wanted it for Ollie. You know what I mean? I wanted Ollie to
keep what you had before this game happened. You said this is do or die for Ollie.
Yeah.
No matter what, even the performance, but even the performance of the players that he put out there, even his performance as a manager was 1 out of 10. Not only did we lose it, we didn't do anything to try and win it. So
it's the fact that Ollie gambled for it. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make this a quick show. I just it feels shit in it. Like I've not enjoyed any of this. I'm gonna get people on. Oh, Edna is waiting. Oh, bro, get out. I've got Neeks. I got Edna. Oh my god. Yes. Wait 1 second.
Yes, bring me Nix. I want to talk to Nix.
Where is Edna? You see how wait. You see how Edna just pop up? You see how Edna pop up? Where has Edna been? Where has Edna been?
My head is gone, bro. Nix, I only have one question for you. KG, can I go on?
Do your thing. I can't
Please, I beg you, calm me down right now. Ole in, calm me down right now. What you gotta say to this? Please.
Listen.
Useless.
Let me answer the question. Literally useless. Utter disgrace and embarrassment.
We know that already.
Listen,
we know that already, Nick. We know that already.
No.
We know that already.
No.
Explain today, please. I beg you. I beg you why.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
You were talking about progress. She wants to know about this progress, bro. Go ahead.
Go on.
What? Is that what we're talking about? I didn't realize. Listen, today set us back. I don't even know how far back right now. I don't know. I need to get out my ruler. I need to get out
So it's not
my meter stick.
So it's not progress no more.
Well, I don't feel like it right now. I feel like I ain't going nowhere. I feel like I'm going backwards. We lost. Like, listen, losing to a final can happen. Losing a final can happen, but not to Villarreal, and not in this way. It's embarrassing.
What is
How do you make one sub?
No. Don't go in circle next. You don't have to do all that. Don't go in circle.
What do you want me to say? Wait, Edna, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say?
Straight to the point.
What's the point? What's the point? What's the point?
He has done well. Ole is making progress. We can see a process. We can see he's trying to do. Excuse me, sir. Who goes into an European final and not make a single sub? How is that a process?
But I just said that.
No, don't shout at me.
But I just said that.
I gotta be there. I gotta have the parliamentary. 1 second, I'm coming back. Listen, Neeks, this is what she's basically saying. Yeah, the last time you lot spoke, you tried to put her in the mud, fam, and it was good. Like, you did a good job, fam. You made, like, Edna was looking crazy in the light, but right now, the end of the season, when it counts, she's saying to you, bro, walk on for the process. So she don't want to hear I just said that. She's saying, what about what you were saying a few days ago? Neeks, respond. He's pretending.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has 1 year left on his contract. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was freezing on my side. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has 1 year left in his contract.
Manager.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to challenge for the league title next year. Not this season, 21 in January. I'm talking proper challenge for league title and win a trophy minimum.
We're supposed to do that.
The reality is, but he wasn't. At the start of the season, no one expected him to, so he wasn't. He was supposed to win today. Don't get it twisted. He was supposed to win today, but nobody expected him to do that this season. So you can't change it halfway. But the reality is,
that's a new.
No, it's not about a new excuse. No, Edna. So at the start of the season, you expected us to challenge for the title this year.
Why not?
What? With our summer, with the summer that we had.
Are we that bad?
You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself.
Next, are we that bad?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Bad. Next, we are.
When you compare us to Man City, we are. When you compare us to Man City, we are. But no, but the point is, he has a 3-year contract. Wait, 1 second. Wait, 1 second.
Hold on, let's break it down one after the other. Compared to Man City, we're not the best. Compared to Villarreal, what's that?
But I already said that. I already said there's no excuse to losing tonight.
You said the progress, right, is for nobody expecting us to win a title. Okay, so I understand Man City and I understand where they are right now, so I get that part. All right, so we got ourselves to the final. I think everybody thought when we went down to the Europa League, I think everybody knew it was going to the final. They even put us up there to be the favorite to win. Yeah, we're the favorites. Us, AC Milan just below, but us, we were the favorites. Okay, so forget about the season now. Right now. I don't think KG is doing this based on the season. He's doing this based on tonight's game, right? Yeah, but you're telling me, but Edna, you're telling me to talk about what I spoke about a month or so ago. And I wasn't just speaking about one tournament. If you want me to talk about today, we can talk about today. Edna, one second. So us losing today, for me, I lose faith that Solskjaer can achieve what I just said that he must achieve next year in terms of winning a trophy. I hope he does. But based on today, I have no faith that with this group of players and with his current management style, is going to win us trophies. Because in these big moments, Villarreal don't have a better team than us. Villarreal don't have a better squad than us. But Emery did all he could to try and win that game. And he still wasn't able to win it 120, which shows how bad their squad is. Solskjaer did not do all he had to do, all he could do, should I say, to win the game. He could have brought on Van der Beek, Telles, Diallo,
and 2 of them could have scored an own goal and we lost the game 3-1. But at least he could have said, you know what? I did all I could. I played all my cards. He didn't do that. So I don't have the same belief that I had 2 months ago that he's gonna achieve what I said that he must do next year. He has to win a trophy and has to stand for the league.
Edna, let me go to Edna. Let me
I hope he does.
I hope he does. There you go. Go on. Edna.
I have a question though. How many times have we seen this happen this season? How many times have we called out these mistakes this season? Can we
Too many times.
No, hold on. I get you want to go with progress. We've seen.
No, I'm agreeing with you. No,
I understand. Listen, when it comes to Ole Out, it's not an agenda. It's based on what I see, right? Now, before tonight, some of these little mistakes that Ole have done, how many times this season have we called it out? And how many times have we said that he's going to catch up with him one day? Did he not do the same thing in the Champions League when he was supposed to take Fred out?
His hand up saying I said that.
Did he not do the same thing? So many times has he done that, but he has players who have been able to bail him out. That's the thing. And tonight, everything he did tonight does not give me any confidence that he's going to win a trophy. Tonight, just
Edna.
Hold on. Let me finish. Hold on. The whole world was watching that game tonight. Right?
The whole world was watching.
People wanted to give Ole the benefit of the doubt.
Not you.
Tonight game. When I came in the last time, I did say it, that you know what, I'm going to see what he can do. Everybody was going to give him, it was like his last dance tonight. Everybody wanted to use this game to give him another opportunity to do something next season. And look at what he did for 100 and something plus minutes. What can you, if that's your son or your niece or your nephew or somebody, that's the teacher that teaches your kid, and they come back with something like that, are you sending your son or your child or your daughter, are you sending them back to that school?
Hell no, close it down, bro.
Are you sending them back?
Special measures, fam. What are you talking about right now, fam?
How many mistakes does he have to make for people to call it out as it is?
But Edna, I'm not trying to convince you that he should or shouldn't stay or shouldn't or whatever. Like that's your decision to make. But the reality is, his last good thanks. That's a good one. But the reality is, we can look at this one game, or not even this one game, but we can look at this final and say this is evidence to prove that he's not good enough to win us a trophy. I'm not going to sit here and say it is evidence that he's going to win it because he hasn't proved that. But what I can say is 2 things: we're better now than we were last year, and when he picked us up. But it's not good enough, and he has to do better. And with this group of players, I don't think he can take us any further. 100%. I think he's taken this group of players as far as he can. But that means we can't go into next season with the same group of players and the same group of manager, the same manager and coaching staff, because it means we're not going nowhere. So for me, my stance in terms of whether he should be sacked now, whether he should get next season, that ain't changed. But the point is, he has one last chance. Right. Next season is his last chance to prove that he can do anything tangible at Manchester United. He's done a lot of intangibles, and we're better now than we were when he picked us up. But tangible, which he said in his post-match interview, was this season is not a success because we didn't win anything. So he knows that he must win. You want to sack him now? Cool. I want to give him one more year.
Cool. What I want to do is I want to give everyone a last word, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get as many people on as possible. I'm just going to get them 3 minutes to enjoy themselves. So, Neeks, give me your last words, and I'm going to hear from Edna, and I'm just going to bring people in. I'm just going to do it like a 3 minute on the clock and just keep it moving. I'm furious.
My last word for me, this 120 minutes was a microcosm of our season. He felt he can only trust 12 or 13 players. And today, it didn't work. If he's going to go forward with this club, he has to change his style of management. You can't rely on 12 or 13 players for a whole season and expect to win stuff. He has to change it.
There you go. Neeks, listen, everyone, you know what to do. Go and follow Neeks. Go and check him out. Neeks Sport. He's on YouTube. Big in the game. Neeks, man, I'm gutted, but next season, innit, we'll see. We move.
Big up Edna, big up KG.
Edna, come on, give me your last words. What are you saying?
KG, I don't know what I'm gonna feel tomorrow, but right now I'm done.
You're
Like,
done out
I'm
here.
done.
What do you need? What do you need? What would you like? What would you like? What if you could pick a manager, someone to come in? What do you want?
Anybody except Ole. Jesus Christ. Anybody except what I'm seeing right now. Jesus Christ. Managers were sacked for less. 3 seasons, no trophies. The same thing we see every time. What's to say that's gonna change last season? All of the things that Nick's just said, they were said last season, innit? That's the same thing they said last season. That the season was gonna be the trophy season, was gonna be the progress season, was gonna be the process season. Now he has failed at that this season. Another excuse is getting ready to be pulled out there for next season. So, and I know Man United is not gonna sack him anyway. So hey, we're in it for a long ride. That's all I have to say. But thank you so much.
Wow, look after yourself, Edmund, man. Stay blessed. I'm gonna be getting all these calls in. I'm literally gonna give a 3 minutes to the man them and they do their thing still. I know Aaron as well. I promised him and I promised Rishi. Oh, sugar Rishi. Rishi was talking the talk as well. Back Ollie to the end. All right. Aaron, here you go, bro. It's the 3 minutes are yours, bro. What do you want to talk about? Let's go.
Man United Football Club is rotten and toxic from top to bottom. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his in-game management needs questionable. It needs to be questioned. There's certain players that perform tonight that I do not want to see in a Man United shirt again. Daniel James, Fred, Lindelof. I want to see. There's so many players I want to see gone from this club, man. As a neutral, there's so many players that need to absolutely go. I feel sorry for McTominay. I feel sorry for Cavani. You know what? Even though De Gea missed that penalty, right? I feel so sorry for David De Gea because now all the people with an agenda against De Gea have got a field day. All the people that have an agenda against Bruno have a field day. They're going to have an absolute playground to play on tonight. I feel so sorry for them. You could see how much it meant to Bruno Fernandes, man. Man United right now, they need a complete and utter shape up. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I feel sorry for him as well. Because Pardon?
Why do you feel sorry for Ole?
Because I feel like he's doing this job with both arms tied behind his back. And the reason why I feel that is because of the pagans upstairs. And look, the positions that were the most wrong tonight: centre back, centre midfield, winger. 3 positions. Rashford was poor. Centre midfield, McTominay was all right, but when Fred came on, he was poor. He shouldn't deserve to play for this football club anymore. Lindelof was absolutely cold as ice. Useless. He was defrosted. He was defrosted. He was gone in the fridge, mate. Like, defensively, they've been better with Harry Maguire in there, but I feel sorry that he's been out for this. So, and substitutions, subs. Why are you bringing on?
Feel sorry for Ole. That's my issue. Hold on, I got a super chat. I don't get many on this channel, so I gotta enjoy it when they come. There you go. He says, "Big up KG. This one was rough. You're the GOAT, though. Don't feel like the GOAT, fam. I feel like a loser, fam. I don't even know how to show my face tomorrow, bro. Like, Arsenal fans won't leave me alone. This is how it is. Hey, another super chat. Here you go. Red Devils down under. Oh, man, I don't even know what time it is. It doesn't matter if his hands are tied behind his back. The team should have beat Villarreal. What do you say to that?
I get that. I do get that. But at the end of the day as well, you've got to remember this. For example, Donny van der Beek. It is so clear that guy is not who Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted. So clear. So clear. And you know what? I was saying this to my dad, right? And my dad never says the manager needs to go. But today he said he's not good enough. And you know what? That takes a lot to say that. For Van der Beek, right, he's in the Netherlands squad for the Euros. If he goes and has the best Euros out of anyone from any nation, and he comes back and doesn't get a C in, I'm sorry, but that's a sackable offence in itself. But tonight's performance, Neeks said it. Big up Neeks. Big up Neeks. He has 1 year left on his contract. 1 year. I've got two minds about this man. I think my brain's splitting off like a sci-fi movie, fam.
Man's
I've got two brains. I've got one half of my brain saying, give him that 1 year. If he doesn't win a trophy and gets at least top 2 in the league,
Aaron,
if he don't win the Champions League, he needs to go. But
Aaron,
my other half of the brain is sack him now. One half of my brain is sacking him now and bringing in someone. Nuno, Zidane.
Yeah. Aaron, you should listen to the other side of your brain, bro, because the crack in the system that's telling you that he can do Champions League, I'm not here for it.
Man. I wouldn't even bring Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in to manage Doncaster Rovers. He couldn't do shit. He can't do anything. I would rather stick with the new man we've got now, the former youth academy man at Man United, Richie Wellens. I'd rather him be the manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at this point. Wellens will do a better job with Doncaster than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would. I'm sorry, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer works better behind the scenes as a legendary director of football. Look at Daniel Ek. And I forgot to say this right. I want to say this before I go off, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to bring up rival clubs. Look at the last 10, 15 years at Arsenal. They went from title winners to the owners thinking that top 4 is a good enough ambition. Then Wenger left. Then Emery came in. Then it was top 6. Then it was top 7. And now they're out of Europe in 15 years later. Man U right now under the pagan owners, the Glazers, they were title holders. Now they're top 4. If things don't change upstairs, I'm sorry to say this, and people may say no, but I see a pattern with the ownerships. It's going to go the same way as Arsenal. In a few years, it'll be top 6. In a couple of years afterwards, it'll be top 7. And you never know. If it doesn't change, you could be out of Europe altogether. I'm sorry to say this, KJ, mate. I really, really am. But I see a pattern. I see a pattern with these owners.
All right. Well, listen, can I get a last word from you? Give me one word to just sum up your evening.
Life killing. It was like Coppinger's free kick at the last minute against Hull. I need to restart my heart after that match. Mate.
Listen, bro, have a nice one. Stay blessed. I'll speak to you soon. You lot, Aaron, man. What a cool. Oh, man. People, that's the funniest comment. KG, are you still an Ollie sexual? No. Wait, there you go. Wait, I think I've read all my super chat. No, I had another one. That's a rude super chat, bruv. United Fan TV, KG out. Now, people, what's crazy is I'm literally gonna pass over to Bradley to handle the night shift. As you lot know, it's super serious auditions coming up. I've got another one, so I just got to take it seriously, to be honest, or I'll look crazy. But what I want to do before I go, I want to talk to one more person still. I need to talk to Rish. Gunman Rish. Rishi, you said we should back the manager. You said trust the process. You said we'll be fine. What are you saying now?
I'm just sad today, OG. I mean,
useless. Absolutely.
I'm so sad I called you OG, KG. I'm really sorry. If you're expecting smoke from me, I'm just gonna be a bummer all night, man. It's 6 a.m. in India. It's 6 a.m. in India, and I've just been up all night. I just got this one question to ask you, KG. Like a month ago, all of us had our guns trained on the owners, on the Glazers. We were all Glazers out. Why did that stop? Why did we forget the bullshit that these guys have played out at the board level? This is an institution, and they have led it to its ruin.
Yeah.
I understand people who today are saying that Ollie needs to be out, and I wanted to bring this up last week as well when I was on with Adam. There might very well be a point that Ollie needs to be sacked. Do you really trust this board to take that decision?
I don't trust. I don't trust this board at all. I don't. I listen, Rish. I've given up, man. Today. You know, I was hoping, I was praying for Oli to get this one right today, and he didn't. You know, and what makes it worse is I feel that Oli is culpable for the reasons why we didn't win. You know, that's why I feel. So I'm struggling, literally. Yeah, all I can say is I'm gutted. I totally feel like you. Like, I know you're a positive guy, but to hear how you sound just lets me know how bad it's going. You know, and it should still be the same situation. I still think that we should be in a place where we should be looking at the Glazers still up to now. But then, even if we look at the Glazers, Oli still has a job to do, and he spent money, and he hasn't delivered.
Yeah,
like,
I kind of agree with you.
Look at my floor, bruv. I was lying on the floor. It's finished. Look at him. I'm dead. Go on. Oh, shit, go on.
KG, I want to ask you this one question for real, okay? Because this is, I'm hurting to my soul, brother. So I need to know, have you heard of this thing called the ship of Theseus? It's a thought experiment.
No, I haven't heard of it. Break it down.
Basically, the ship of Theseus is Theseus had the ship, and by the time he started his journey and he finished it, all the original parts of that ship, they were replaced. You know, so the original wooden planks that made up the ship, the sail, everything had changed. So is it still the same ship? So I want to ask the question about a club today. I started supporting United in 2003-04, and I became a fan because of one man, that was Ruud van Nistelrooy, and he was doing a madness up there. He had just, you know, scored in consecutive matches. He had got that record, and then the first United game that I happened to see, you know which one it was?
Which one was it?
It was one against Arsenal, the one where he missed the penalty and Martin Keown and all those bitches got up in his face, and then Arsenal went on to become the Invincibles, and I just hated them, and I said, no, United is my team from now.
Yeah,
and they're gonna come back in the face of adversity. The first 3 seasons that I supported this team, we didn't win anything. I think we won an FA Cup in 2004. And then we went on to win 3. And then I saw the spirit that Sir Alex infused in these people, and how we let every game go on to knife's edge, and we just managed to pack enough of a punch so that we could win. I think Sir Alex's greatest superpower was that he made the Glazers irrelevant. We didn't give a fuck about the Glazers till 2013.
That's true. That's true.
And now that whole institution, they don't care about winning. You know, the only people who aren't sad today, it's the Glazers, because they're gonna still make that difference.
Yeah, I don't think the Glazers knew he played today. Honestly, someone actually said that we made 65 million from our league finish, our league position. Like, someone in Free Seats hit me out and said, yo, this is it. Like, we made 65 million. Why is that money not being reinvested into the squad this season? And again, it won't be, you know, prize. We suck. But anyway, Rish, bro, give me one word to sum up, like one word, maybe 2 words to sum up how you're feeling right now, or just your thoughts for next season.
Soul is crushed, but I'm still living.
Listen, I respect it, brother. I'll speak to you soon. Big up yourself. Hold tight, man. Let's go. Oh man, there we go. Let's switch him into the main seat. Big man, the con is yours. I've got an audition. Everybody wish me luck. I'm gutted. I'm not gonna lie. I done like an hour and a bit on United Stand, and it hurt chatting about this. It just hurt. Listen, the con is yours. Handle KG out. Bradley in. Bradley, listen. I want some battles as well, fam. So if you're gonna cuss people, but my boy Josh Sutton is here. He's been supporting for long as well. Listen, people, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, all that good stuff. We're gonna get as many people on, and yeah, let's just rant away, fam. I'll be watching this in the morning. Big up. I actually got a film. Mental. Hold tight. Peace. Let me get out of here. It's up to you, bro.
He would not shut up. He doesn't have to keep talking, doesn't he? Huh? Yes, Josh Sutton. Don't think I didn't see you in the background there, making all the funny faces, trying to put us off. Josh, let's bring you on. What do you got to say, bro?
How you going, Bradley?
Not too bad. What's your opinions? What's going on?
Oh, mate, absolutely devastated. I mean, I know it's the Champions League B Cup, but that's an appalling performance. I mean, credit to Emery and Villarreal. I mean, he is a Europa League specialist, and he just showed, basically tied our hands back. We were toothless for the most part. Little drips and drops of goodness throughout the game, but just overall, I felt very underwhelmed with the performance. I thought the players would do more for it, and I mean, I don't know if you feel the same, but when Fred stepped up for that penalty, I left skid marks in my undies like that. I was terrified I thought he was gonna miss, to be honest. But yeah, no, not impressed, and I feel like this is the ceiling with Ole and this squad. I mean, I can't see him getting booted. Top four consistently. The Glazers will be happy. Champions League prize money, all that sort of stuff. They'll line their pockets. They'll bare bones invest. Sorry,
Was that kids in the background?
No. The kids are out of their cages. Get back in there. Yeah, no. I'm just disappointed, really, more than anything else. And the subs too late. Wrong people were being brought on. Just another Ole meltdown. Very upset. I think I'm Ole out. I mean, I've backed him. He's been consistent, but a performance like that, a final when they don't come around very often, you have to do more than that in a game. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I'm done with him. That's the end of it. Yep.
Okay. So you've touched a bit on there on KG's point, the first thing deep, which was Ole out, which is very up, but fair enough. He did sort of mention before the game, if he loses this, it's probably Ole out time. And then the second point, I popped into that. What you mentioned there, though, goes into point number 3, and I'll do the noises, and I'll try and go. Well, it is 5 things deep, so at least got to get 5 things out. One thing you said there goes to point number 3. Third thing deep. Any good or great team with a good or great squad or a good or great manager is able to beat a team that's going to sit back and play deep and defend against you and try and hit you on the break and rely on set pieces. Tonight, we saw the Spanish Burnley do the same thing in a cup final, and we had nothing to do. We couldn't break it down. We couldn't change the tactics. He couldn't bring on a new substitution to change the game completely and do something different until
Donny
late.
should have been brought on. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, Donny should have been brought on. He's a pass and move kind of player. That's the sort of thing you need to try and break that up, and he didn't. And Donny was on the sideline right until the penalty shootout. Like, what the hell? Anyway.
Yeah, atrocious what's happened with Donny. If I was Donny, and I know other players, like Fred in his first season, came in and didn't get much game time. The next season he sort of did, but it seems different with Donny. It seems people have said it, and it might be a bit reckless, but people have said, is there an agenda from Ole against him? What has he done to Ole to not get any minutes? And when he does get minutes, it's like when Donny's being brought on for 1 minute at the end of a game, or 3 minutes here. He didn't even get any time today. It's crazy. The things that he's doing. Yeah, and it just goes to show, like in my point 2, we'll go back to that, and then the next caller will get on. Hopefully we get to point 4, and then we get to point 5. But on the point 2 was the substitutions are so bad that it shows a lack of an ethos that he's building with the players, and so he doesn't trust them to be able to bring them on. So he can't trust Donny to fire him on to change the game because he hasn't ingrained what he wants Donny to do without having to speak to him.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the big issue. I mean, Donny played wonderfully against Wolves. He actually, with the setup of the team, he ran the midfield with Matic sitting back, and I was it Matic with him? Yeah, I think it was, and it was it was a good, solid performance against a midfield that the Wolves midfield is essentially an international midfield for Portugal, and he really ran that game with ease, and it was a perfect audition. And I feel like playing against a team like Villarreal, who aren't too dissimilar from Wolves, apart from the higher tempo style of play, Donny could have easily. I just feel like that was a really big missed opportunity, especially after the Cavani goal. He should have gone for the throat. He should have brought someone on that just changed the way we were playing, a tweak to the tactics, and it could have been a much different result.
Yeah, 100%. Josh, thanks. Great call. We'll go trying to rattle through these calls. There's people busting to try and get into the studio here. So if you have had your call, if you're still in there, just jump out. There's tons of people wanting to get in. Josh,
no worries. Have a good one, bro.
Peace. Now let's have a look here. I don't even have my main man Rich. Usually my main man Rich is my backup. Usually I'm KG's backup, but KG's gone, so I have no backup. So I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna go with my main man Malcolm. Hopefully he's woken up. Well, I think I woke him up there. Malcolm, are you awake? You've been on the beers?
I'm finished, yeah, badly. And I have no words. I'm deflated.
You've got no words, right? Good call then, Malcolm. See you later. Right, who we're going to bring on next? Only joking, Malcolm. Only joking. Right, wake up. Come on, give us a bit of energy. KG's going. Give some energy.
Look, all I can say, yeah, is that I'm done with the manager. I'm done with the board, and I'm just done. I'm done with this team. Like, I have no idea. I just thought today was a day we could, finally win a trophy. Finally bring some positivity back. We've had so many inconsistencies. We've had such a bad season. Even though we finished second, it's like I just thought the trophy that would have been the highlight of our season. But now we've lost it, and so I don't even know what to expect next season. I don't know. Like
Malcolm, you're bringing down the tone here. It looks like you've been dumped. It looks like you've been dumped. It looks like you're lying on the bed, looking at the ceiling, going, "What did I do wrong?" Literally, Malcolm, you've called out the manager, you've called out the squad, you've called out the board. Let us know right here now what team you support next season. Doncaster Rovers. Don't visit Aaron's channel.
West Ham. Leicester City.
Leicester
City.
That's something I would agree with. Leicester, or a team, a squad, a manager, a backroom staff, a boardroom, an ownership that people can really love. Like those scenes at the end of the season when they were celebrating with the owner of the club, and it wasn't as if, what's this guy doing here? He just pays the money. It was a love for the guy, and that's what every fan and every club really aims to have. No matter the background stuff, we have the absolute opposite of that, where most of the fan base hates him. Yeah, any other points before we move on, Malcolm? You can go back to sleep.
Honestly, all I just want to say is that Ole out. That's what Glazes out. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. I wish today if it won a trophy, that would have lifted the fans. But I just can't find out. I just cannot find anything to lift the fans. I'm sorry, really sorry, but yeah.
And I hope you get back to your girlfriend, bro. I hope you make up with your girlfriend, and she takes you back.
And I just want to big you up to everything you've been doing so far with KG, and bigging us to give us say as long I know it's the end of a horrible season, but just want to big you up, and yeah.
Thanks, man. See you. Great call as always. See you whenever. So who we got up next? My man Ferbs has left the building. I'm seeing a new chap, Daniel the Red. Daniel, what do you got to say, bro? Daniel's fallen asleep just like Malcolm. Aryan, I think you're also new. I haven't recognized the name. Aryan, what about you?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. What you got to say today, bro?
I am devastated, man. I've been seeing this shit for like 2 years now. People saying like we are progressing and we're gonna win trophies. We're gonna do better, but we finished second on 74 points on a season when Chelsea changed their manager. They were shit. Liverpool wasn't the best like they were last year, and Leicester bottled it again. So I don't know why people are so happy about us finishing second, saying that it's a progress. I've seen a lot of people say that on the call, and it's absolutely bullshit. We have I hope people recognize that we have a manager who doesn't even know how to use his subs, who doesn't know the strengths and weakness of his players, who doesn't know his own tactics. I don't feel like Ole and his coaches knows how to use the players that we have. I can see how devastated Bruno was, and it's not his fault. A better manager would have brought out the best of these players in this final, and we were just plain bad, just bad. It's probably the worst day in Man United history. It's not losing it's one of the worst day. I wouldn't say the worst day, but it's one of the worst days. I mean, like, it's not like losing a final, like losing it's a one-off game, like everybody can lose, but the way we lost this final, it's absolutely heartbreaking to say, man. Like, it is really sad. Like, have you ever seen a manager in a final not use his sub for 100 minutes? Like, I mean, that's a first, and it's I don't know what Ole has like plans for long term. Like, I just feel like he's just making money for himself, making money for his retirement fund, and I don't know, man. I think he should just leave in honor. Like, I think deep down inside he knows that he's not good enough for Man United, but he just wants to be in this job, make money, and sneak us into top four. I think that's all he can do. But I don't even think that we're gonna finish top four next season, because Chelsea's gonna be better. Liverpool's in UCL, they're gonna be better, and we all know Leicester. Like, they are a proper team, and if you say progress, I think Leicester City has made more progress than Man United. So this progress bullshit, I'm not gonna fall for that. I think Ole should leave, Ole should leave, because I don't think Glazer's gonna sack him. He's a yes man for Glazer, so they'll be happy if we finish top four, if we do something good in Europa League, and they'll be happy with that. So I don't know, man. This club is like rotten to the core. So we are far from winning a league. Like, I'll say even say if Ole's on the job, then if we don't make changes, then it's gonna be 10-15 years of crap and bullshit and heartbreaking shit like this. We are really far. I hope people who says Ole in realizes that, like, we're not the same club anymore. This is tough to watch.
Tell me this, Arjun. Let's change it around a wee bit. Give me a positive that you found out of today. I know it'll be hard, but find what was half decent today.
The positive, the only thing that I saw positive was Cavani fighting for everything. That guy wanted to win. I saw wasn't the best game for Bruno, but I can see those players, like, they are here to win. Like, they want to win. They are fighters and leaders, and players like that are like really hard to find. But with this manager, we're gonna lose those players too. So the only positive thing I really saw was players like Cavani, even the young guy Greenwood, Bruno, Pogba. Like, these guys really want to win. Like, they really fought for the badge today. Like, people slack off these players when they have a bad game, like they don't fight for the badge and all this bullshit. But I can see those players are the ones that we really need to build up on this team. But for that, like, we need a manager who knows what he's doing. We need a manager who can bring the best out of these players. We don't have that in Ole. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he just have few tactics that he learned when he was in Molde, and that's all he's using at United. I don't think he has learned anything. He goes on to interviews and says that, like, we are getting better and we're just one step away and all that crap. But I don't think if he gets even Ronaldo, if he brings in Sancho, Varane, I just think it's the players' fight and spirit that's gonna be sure. That's we're gonna see in the field. I don't think we're gonna see any tactical managerial changes, tactical things, or something really amazing from a manager that can change a game. I don't think we're going to see that. It's just the fight and spirit from certain players that we're going to see. Even if we buy Varane, Sancho, Ronaldo, whatever. I think Ronaldo, if Ronaldo comes in and if he sees Ole in one season, I think he'll want to leave United. Like he will not want to stay here, even though he loves United. If he stays one season with Ole, I don't think Ronaldo will want to stay with this club, even though he really loves United. So we can bring all these top players, but the Glazers are shit. Everybody knows that. But we really need to change the manager too. I think Ole has done all he can for this club. I know he's a club legend. I know Ole wants to win trophies and finish first in this finish first. But I don't think he has it in him. So it's better for him if he really loves the club. Like better for him to just leave and just do what's right for the club. It's time for a change. Like this is absolutely bullshit to watch. Like 90 minutes, 100 minutes, and you don't even know what the manager of this great club wants to do. It's just he's just waiting on players to like do a magic on the field, and it just doesn't work like that every time. So it's really time for people who say Ole in, like, to really figure this thing what they think, what they're saying in their head, like what's making them say that Ole is the right man for the job. Just think it out once again. If you go to bed, like if you're sleeping or hearing this call, just think for once, like what's making you think that he's the right man for the job, because he is really not. So if you, I don't know, probably they want to wait 20 years and see Ole win a trophy. So if they want that, just do it. Like if you want to wait 20 years and see Ole win a trophy, then, or do something at this club, or learn his managerial tactics, then you can wait. But me, like personally, I'm just done with this bullshit, man. This is hard to watch. This is tough to watch, and I hope people understand that.
Yes, Arjun, great call.
Thanks, man.
I think it's probably my fault for asking for positivity, because they started off all right there, but that went downhill. I apologize for asking for positivity.
Yeah, sorry, man. I went on a long run of negativity. Like I just don't see any positivity. Just the thing I saw was some players fighting today and trying to win and do something for this club. But except that, I just didn't see anything.
Yeah. Great call, Arjun. We've got people waiting. Thanks for the call.
Thanks, man.
Now we've got a chap here, always here every time. He's got to go soon, so we want to bring him on quickly. Let him know what he's got to say. He's always fantastic. Ferbs, what you got to say, bro? Oh, Ferbs. The mic.
How about now?
Oh, yeah. It was in the washing machine there. There's a bit of tie-fi action going.
It was actually my finger. I'm inside now of the kids. I'm not in my little man cave, so
yeah.
I ain't gonna take long. I just want to say respect to you, KG vibes, everybody. All the free seats. Thanks for coming on. I don't know when you guys will be back. It's gonna be a little off season. I don't know if you guys are doing anything or not, but just want to come on and say respect to everybody. It don't make sense me going on about the game, because for one, I only got to see bits and pieces of the first half. I was at work, so I couldn't really watch the game. It definitely looked like it went just like I was explaining. When KG was going and it was you, I tell you, you can't just flick the switch. You can't just show up and start playing good football one day and then 5 games you lost in those 5 games, and then you just show up and win the game that you need to win. I already knew. I was hoping Ollie was going to prove me wrong. Like, I hoped in the grand scheme of things, but it just clearly showed it all over again. Way too many inept decisions throughout the whole game process from the start. Even putting Pogba in the middle. It's pretty obvious. The time when Cavani, Bruno, and Pogba shined is when they all up on that final third. He didn't do it from the start, so I don't. Not surprised by the result. Sad to see us go. I was hoping he was going to prove me wrong, get the trophy, try and build a winning mentality, and then kick on next year. But it is what it is. Thanks for letting me on there, Bradley, man. Tell KG I said respect to the same way, see.
Peace. And then, so just one word answer. Ollie in or Ollie out?
Oh, it's out. I was mad because when I noticed it was only two things deep, I was saying that's perfect because Ole Out gotta go.
So it should have just been one thing deep
So you
tonight.
should have just left it two things deep because that would have been perfect. 2 words, two things deep, Ole Out. Sorry, but not sorry.
Fair enough, Ferb. See you when I see you, bro.
Respect.
So let's go and see if Daniel the Red has woken up with this fantastic material that we've got going here. Daniel. In the bin. Petite, you've been on before. What you got to say, bro?
How are you doing?
What's the feeling? How you feeling?
I feel so sad. I feel so sad.
Yeah.
Yep. First, I want to talk about Marcus again. I don't know how he's going to keep getting away with his performances. I personally, I felt he showed more fight in his post-match conference than in the actual game. All the talk he was bringing about players being injured for almost the duration of the season and hanging in there. He was really poor today. There was a moment in the second half when the ball was up in the air, and I think Shaw headed it towards him, and he had turned his back already, and he was caught offside. He just showed like he wasn't interested at all. It really broke my heart to see him put in such a performance. I want to. I think Scott McTominay and Wan Bissaka were really putting in a fight today. Scott McTominay, you can call him a passion merchant or anything, but he really showed the desire today, and he really showed what it meant to be in a final. The last thing I want to talk about is Ole. I'll go back to the game against Sheffield United at Old Trafford when Tony put in a dreadful performance. He kept him on that game. Marcus did the same thing. He kept him on today. We can talk about Fred's possible red card. We could all see it in the Champions League game. He left him on. And you talk about today, David doesn't save a lot of penalties. And I'm a David De Gea. I want David to be the number one guy, but he doesn't save penalties. Surely you have to make the change. You have to make that change.
Yep, I think that's it. Everybody's main topic of discussion tonight is the subs, and everybody's been talking about it on and off week after week, and especially when the results are bad. But tonight it was especially bad. Surely he knows. He must be thinking everybody's looking at me. I haven't made a sub yet, and then makes just the most random substitutions. And it looks like he's went defensive and is trying to give it the penalties and just rely on some luck, try and win instead of taking the game to them. And they made their 5 substitutions, so they had 5 players that have played 60, 70, 80 minutes, and then had another 5 fresh players that they had brought in.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Towards mid of extra time, there are 5 fresh players that started to get the feel of the game. They started upping the tempo. Like Villarreal looked like a whole different team, and our subs are just trying to get their feet. I thought we were going to lose in the extra time. I thought we weren't even going to get penalties.
So we would be expecting, if we finish the 90 minutes with loads of subs still to make, we would expect them to be made near the start, bring on all the fresh legs. Those guys they're running out of energy. Win the game before it gets to penalties. Win the game before they get a bigger opportunity to win the game themselves. Take it to them. But in fact, the opposite happened. They looked better after 120 minutes than we did, and we had weird substitutions like Pogba coming off just before penalties. And I actually said I was doing a watch along on United Fan TV. Shout out. I'd said Pogba's come off. What happens even if he's not one of your first 5 penalty takers. Surely he's maybe number 6, maybe number 7, maybe number 8.
Totally.
If you're getting to Luke Shaw and Axel Tuanzebe, surely Pogba's still on the pitch. There's probably going to be more likely to score you a goal. And I know all the goals went in, but that's it. Ollie's not to know it was going to go to 22 penalties before there's a miss.
Oh, God, it's just so sad what's happening to our football club. And the other part is you have to feel that City could win the Champions League on Saturday. That will be it. I think that also the biggest. I can't believe I would ever say this, but Liverpool's demise this season has actually been a really bad thing for us, because there is a way us being second is covering up all the problems we have, and Chelsea having a rookie manager in Frank Lampard also helped us stick to second place. But if things were reversed, if they had Thomas at start, if they didn't lose Virgil van Dijk, Liverpool, they would be ahead of us. They would be ahead of us. That's a fact.
Well, I don't see what you mean. Them be that sort of hidden something, that's just more pressure on Ollie. If even Liverpool, after a bit of a poor season and a bit of an injury hit season, if they still did better, and to be fair, even the fact that they finished only 5 points behind us the end of the season after what they went through this year,
it's alarming. It's alarming.
Yep, 1,000,000%. Petit, we'll move on. We've got loads of people wanting to get in. A great
Thanks for
call.
having me on.
So you want to see you, bro? Petit, great call. We need to get the 5 things deep. It's never been an hour long before we haven't even got through the 5 things deep. So we'll go to the 4th one. There's 2 left. I'll read my own writing. There's 2 left. There's one slightly less positive one, and then there's a positive one at the end. So we'll go with the less positive one. We'll finish on a more positive one. Useless. Absolutely useless. Inside. All right. Yeah. Zonal marking. What is going on? I don't think we could have had 5. We could have had Bobby Moore, Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic. We could have had the best defense that you could ever imagine. And it's still not going to save goals like we've seen today. And we see it over and over again. And I know I've been rinsed in the comments all night about the Lindelof thing. And yes, he was the closest person to the goal scorer. But if you watch the movement that he made, that wasn't Lindelof's man. And when he left Luke Shaw, who was the one closest to him at the start of the move, nobody tracked him. He left the closest guy, then made himself some space with a little bit of movement, moved into a different zone, and by that time, there's split seconds to do anything. And unless you're Superman, there's nothing you can do. And that's what zonal marking does for you. It baffles me, and we've seen it year after year now with Ollie. Something needs to change. The zonal marking, the defensive coaching on set pieces, you could have the best defenders on the planet that there's ever been. But if your coaching and your strategy is always going to put your defenders at a disadvantage, it's never going to work out. And that's why we lost tonight. But anyway, I'll move on because that's going to get a lot of hate. Before we go to number 5, we'll bring somebody else on. Pogba Army, what about you, my guy?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Absolutely atrocious. What about you?
Disappointed, mate. Gutted. I was actually expecting a win out tonight, right? And we had the call last week, and I told you how I was Ole in, and I still had some belief, in the process that we were following in the young players that we had. But suddenly now I've started doubting a couple of things, right? The substitutions that we've made, absolutely atrocious. Everyone is getting a little too emote, and people are coming out and they're going after Ole. I totally understand that he is to be blamed for the substitutions. But I wanted to ask you, do you actually feel that we have the bench strength to get players on who can win us the matches? Because for me, I don't see people like Dan James coming out and winning us matches. Especially when we've spoken about Rashford being a match-winning player. He must have played awful tonight and he should have been subbed. But then he's a player who can get you goals, who can get you matches. And if you were the manager, would you not have a player like Rashford on the pitch rather than someone like, say, a James or a Van der Beek who hasn't actually gotten time? He has played well against Wolves, but that is one match and doesn't prove anything at all.
I can't disagree with you more, really. Man United don't have a terrible squad. What we have, and I've already touched on this in this show, what we have is we have a lack of a philosophy. We have a lack of if somebody new comes into the squad or somebody's been here for not that long. This is why it's taken certain players years until they seem like they're ready to step in and play. That doesn't happen with most teams, especially big teams. What you have is you have a manager that has imprinted day after day. Every day they go into training, every match day, every day where they go over the last game, they say, this is what you've done wrong. You're being told you've got to do this. We don't see that at Man United. There's no philosophy. As soon as Ole has to go back to, and it's players like Donny, and a Dutch international, played for Ajax. They were making Champions League semi-finals and whatnot. This is one of the best players in that squad. And you're telling me that Ole had no time tonight. Could he have brought him on?
Can I ask you one question though? So you talk about us having a very good squad. I don't see anyone else apart from Donny being there who can come in.
No, I didn't say that.
Point number one.
Hold on. Don't make me sin bin you. Don't make me sin bin you. I didn't say that. I didn't say that, Pogba. What I'm saying is, when a manager has a philosophy, when they've drilled it in deep to every player in their squad, they're able to make changes. They're confident in making changes at any time of the game. So they can replace Rashford with somebody like a James or even a Diallo. It's a bit different because he's younger and it's his first season here. But they're able to go into their bench and they can rely on that person because they can bring them on straight away and say, look, Rashford isn't working. We've worked on for weeks. Rashford's been rested game after game. He's getting 20 minutes, 30 minutes here. We're preparing for this game. He's going to play, but he didn't perform tonight. So he doesn't have anybody that he relies on that can go, right, Rashi, you've tried your best. It's not working tonight. Danny.
No, I totally understand. I totally understand. And I agree with
players. And that's why we've seen our players dropping like flies. Harry Maguire getting injured. Fred was injured tonight. The ones that Rashford's been playing with an injury for months. Same with Victor Lindelof, injured for months. He has a set amount of players that he relies on. And then as soon as he has to go to the other players, everything falls to pieces.
I agree, but I would still say that I'm still sitting on the fence. And I believe that there is a very, very urgent need for us to buy at least 3-4 good players. Who can probably act as a super sub, especially with us being in the Champions League next season. The squad depth will definitely matter, or we'll be knocked out of the group stage once again. We're not going to succeed.
Do you think if we spend, say, 150 million, 200 million, it might be wishful thinking, but if we spend 150, 200 million, do you want to give that money to Ole?
Definitely, why not? Especially considering the signings that he's made have not been that awful, frankly. Right? So why not? And especially we have identified players. We have identified positions that we need players in. We need a right back. Sorry, a right winger. Right? We need a centre back. We need a player in pivot. So we know that already. It's just a matter of identifying the right kind of players like Sancho, who you can get in the team. And if you get them, I'm very sure that we can challenge for the title. I'm not talking about Champions League again, because that is a step ahead. That is a different ball game altogether. But as far as the Champions League is concerned, we get in 3 players, and I feel that we can challenge for the title. And to add on to that,
go ahead.
I've seen people saying Ole out, but do we actually have managers currently who can replace him? I don't think there is one in the market. Right? People have been talking about Conte. People have been talking about Allegri, but have we actually seen the style they play in is absolutely rubbish and boring football they play. Are you going to entertain people like them in Manchester United? Absolutely not.
Pogba, I'm going to bring somebody on here because I think you're the first person I've seen tonight, and I actually expected to see more tonight. That we're all in and stick by him, give him more time, let him make some more signings. There's a lot of people that are the opposite way and Ole Out, as we've already seen. KG, the main one. There's a chap here that has something to say about what you got to say. I'm going to bring him on. Romeo, what do you got to say, bro?
Good evening, Bradley.
Good evening, Romeo. What you got to say?
Yeah, I'm
Ding, ding,
saying that
ding.
I agree we don't have one of the best squads, but our squad is half decent and it should be beating Villarreal. Emery does not have a good squad, but yet he still makes changes because he's able to implement a style of play. So when those players get on the pitch, they might not have to be the greatest of players, but they know what to do.
Exactly. Yep. Pogba, what do you got to say?
No, I mean, see, Brad, I told you right at the very beginning that I'm not someone who's saying Ole in, because the performance that we've shown in the finals have been absolutely bad. But then do we have anyone to replace him? The answer is no. Right? And
I agree with
when
that.
you start blaming,
Well,
right, when you start blaming people like Ole, could you also put the blame on people like Lindelof, Rashford, and other players who haven't performed well? You know, Rashford could have created 3 goal-scoring chances today, but he was shit. He did not do anything at all. And I disagree with you on Lindelof, Brad. You know, if you're half as good a defender that a Premier League defender should be, you've got to save that. Sorry, that was very, very soft.
So I have a question here. When Rashford has been playing badly, hasn't people been making the excuse that he's playing with an injury? Victor Lindelof has had a back injury since December and he's continued playing. But so why aren't people giving him a free pass? And he has a back injury and he's a defender. But Rashford gets the excuse because he's the king of England.
So what's the point that I'm saying don't play either of them? I'm not a proponent of playing Rashford or Lindelof. I'm saying don't play either. But then do we have options down there? We don't. Frankly, we don't, right? I mean, people have been saying play Bay, play Twansby, but what, on the basis of one good performance against Wolves? Is that how we're going to pick our teams now? Is that how football is played?
No, but it hasn't been one good performance against us. Every time he has played, he has shown that he is good enough.
But how many times has he played? He's only played a couple of times, hasn't he?
Yeah, but
and you're talking about the Europa League final, mate. You're talking about one of the biggest events in football. Are you going to play someone just on the basis of 2 good performances? I'm not sure that any good manager would do that. Would Klopp do that? I'm not really sure. Would Pep do that? He would not do that. So, let's call spade a spade and give Ole stick for what he deserves. But for something that he doesn't deserve it, let's not call him out.
How many teams can bring up the quality and reputation of player Donny van de Beek off the bench?
Yeah, but Pogba, you're saying that there's a lack of options, but there isn't really. We have decent players there. I'm not saying it's a fantastic squad. It's not one of the best squads in our league.
It's not the one that we want, but it's decent enough to get by this.
Yeah, there are players there that if you have implemented your strategies and your philosophy on, they should be able to come on and do a job for you. If you've got Rashford on there who's playing a 2 out of 10, you should have somebody on the bench that's able to come in there and just bumping up the 6 out of 10 at the very least against a tired team. But we don't seem to have that.
Brad and Romeo, I had a question that I was constantly thinking about, and I actually don't have an answer for this. I was watching the match, right? Until the 60th, 70th minute, I thought that we were a better team and we absolutely dominated Villarreal. Was I wrong in assuming that? Or do you guys have a different opinion?
We dominated?
I thought so because we had the ball, we had more shots. They had the goal, but then they had only 1 shot on target, and that is all they had. We had the better chances.
I don't think it's fair to say we dominated. I think it's more like they let us have the ball and said, right, try and break us down.
Certain positions.
If you notice when we were playing down the right-hand side, Aaron Wan-Bissaka had a lot of time on the ball because they were probably thinking, if anybody's going to have the ball, let them have it there. Then they let us put crosses in, and they just mopped everything up.
And to break teams, then Brad, you need players who are good enough to break them, right? We have only one in Bruno. We don't have players like City, say a KDB or a Gundogan, people who can come off the bench and can break teams. We cannot do that. And that is exactly the point I was making.
That's not
But
really
we
fair
have
to say, though,
Paul
because
Pogba.
we've got Pogba, you've got Juan Mata can do a job there. You've got
No, but
Donny
Pogba was
van
in the
der
team,
Beek.
right? Pogba was in the team.
Yeah, you've got Donny van der Beek, who can obviously do that job against Villarreal. If you don't think Donny van der Beek is good enough to pick a pass to unlock that defense, or even good enough to play in the center midfield and push Bruno or Pogba up a little bit more to break them down, then this club shouldn't be second, shouldn't be in the final.
So you're saying the replace Bruno with Donny? Because I don't see how we can fit.
No, I'm not saying.
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
don't
please.
think he should start Donny, but the fact that he didn't get a single minute today when we needed a goal.
Rashford should have been taken off. Before the 70th minute, Rashford should have been taken off.
Certainly, but
Clearly wasn't
Rashford
working.
should have been taken off. He should not have been replaced by Donny, though. I'm very sure you'd not be saying that.
Oh, I would have brought Donny on, and I would have put Pogba up into the left
On
hand
the
side.
left and put Van der Beek beside McTominay.
Yep. If we didn't rely on any sort of pace or raw power to try and fashion any chances, that wasn't an option because they were sitting so deep. So we needed more intricate players. I would even brought Juan Mata on in 70 minutes for Rashford. We needed to slow the play down and pick a winning pass, and it just wasn't happening. There was no changes whatsoever, which is even worse. I'd like them to bring bloody Michael Phelan on, or I'd like to see Sir Alex on the pitch. Change something, because nothing was getting improved. It was atrocious, and when he did make the substitutions, they were possibly the worst substitution I've ever seen in my entire life. You bring Paul Pogba off just before we're going into a penalty
He
shootout.
brought Dan James on to break a low block team.
At what minute?
Paul Pogba's substitution was actually very strange. I'll agree there. But the Dan James one, I thought that all of us know that he's a speed merchant, and with the legs tiring in, he could probably have given a couple of them a good fight. That is what I thought about it.
Why did he bring Fred on? Why did he bring Fred on for Greenwood and left Rashford on?
So the Fred one is actually that I wanted to discuss, because that is an interesting one. Now, you'd have seen that for the 5-10 minutes into the second half, right? It was the 70th, 75th minute. They had started, having a lot of possession. And that was because Paul Pogba was probably tiring up, or whatever the reason was. We were being overpowered in the midfield. And that is the reason I thought Fred was brought in. And after that, if you start looking from 80th minute on, we started having the ball again. So that actually made a little bit of sense.
No, my
but why
question
did he
was,
take
why
Greenwood off?
Exactly. Yeah. Why did he take Greenwood off and not Rashford? Greenwood, in my opinion, Greenwood was the man of the match for the first half.
I'm not going to defend everything. I'll simply say that is down to favoritism.
So what can you defend about what Ollie did today?
Mate, Brad, see, we had this call in the last week, and I told you that even if we lose today, right, basis the performance that we've had, because I feel, and I truly feel even now, that the performances that we've shown, it has been a step up from where we were last time, right? If you get me a manager like Sir Alex, I'll be totally in, send Ole out right now. But just because of the lack of managers out there in the market, I don't see anyone who can do a better job than Ole for Manchester United right now. Right? You have Zinedine Zidane, who can do a wonderful job with Real Madrid. Right? You have Allegri, who can do a wonderful job with some Italian club. But these managers cannot do a better job than Ole, in my opinion, for Manchester United. I'd love to know what your opinions are and who are the managers that you guys would want to get in.
Wait, Pogba and Romeo. I'm going to be quiet for a bit, because me and Romeo have been double teaming up on you a wee bit. It's not that fair. There's somebody in the background who wants to back you up to some degree. Pogba, Aaron's in the background. Aaron, what do you got to say? We're going to bring the three on. Let's go Royal Rumble in here.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Aaron, what you got to say, bro?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, Aaron.
What's happening with you? Yeah,
No
I just
problem.
think like the bench is just nowhere near good enough to be talking about bringing people off the bench. And I think when we play the people on the bench, everybody criticizes that team and says the quality absolutely drops off a cliff when we play that team. But then when it doesn't go our way, they're like, why don't we make subs? So I don't think you can have it both ways. Like we all see how much the quality drops as soon as we bring on the likes of a Matic or a Mate, etc., etc. We can't talk about Diallo because we've seen him play like one game. Van de Beek has had like 4 or 5 games and he's had like one good game. Like it's the real issue is the problem with the boards. You know what I mean? He hasn't got what he needed. We don't have the strength and depth. We all know how much the quality drops off a cliff when we bring on the likes of these players. So I don't feel like you can criticize when like we bring on these players and we're saying that the quality drops off the cliff and then we have a bad result and be like, why didn't we bring on these players? Like, you know what I mean? It's you can't really have both.
Romeo, that's on you, bro. I'm being
I
quiet.
understand we don't have the best squad, and I understand, but you cannot say he doesn't have players. Yes, we haven't seen Ahmad one time, but the time we saw Ahmad, he was actually good. He would actually have brought something different to the game. Van de Beek, we haven't seen him as much because of the manager. He came with a reputation of being one of the best upcoming midfielders in the world, and he still has a reputation. Even though he doesn't play for us, he's still in this Netherlands squad. Why? Because he's that good. Sure, you have to give him a chance. Even if at least bring him on, and if he doesn't do anything, then we can't complain. He
But
didn't try
again,
anything.
I think
So
that's
of
a
course we
problem
have
with
to
the
defend.
board. Do you really think Ollie wanted to have Van de Beek at the club? Because if he did, do you think
Yeah.
he would be playing a lot more if he actually wanted him? Realistically, we needed a centre defensive midfielder. We needed a defender, which clearly showed tonight. Because if Harry Maguire was playing tonight, it might have been different. But if we had a different defender to bring off the bench that the board could have brought in at the start of last year, it might have been a completely different result tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think people are forgetting
I
about what
agree
the real issues are. And I think the real issues have really showed tonight more than anything, because we came up against a team that have played a low block. And unfortunately, when you're playing against a team with very poor quality, you don't really need a lot of quality to play a low block. It's kind of more of a tactical thing, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you mean, but that's again, Villarreal don't have the players to play expansive football. So Emery does the best what he can with what he has. Oli has good, Like I understand for the board are the main issue here, but the board didn't pick the tactics today. You can't blame the board for today. We had a good enough side to beat a Villarreal team that finished 7th in La Liga.
Romeo,
We
I
had
have
a
one
good enough
question for
player
you,
to
man.
do
I
that.
understand what you're saying, but it's a final, man. You know what I mean? Like, you're playing a final. Like, everybody is given absolutely everything they have, especially when they're parking the bus. Like, you know, it's a very, very hard team to break down if they just have 11 men behind the ball the whole time. And when you're in that situation, you need to be able to bring quality off the bench, fresh legs, a little bit of pace, something different. And we just don't have that. And when we do bring them off the bench, all people do is criticize. Like, so I don't feel like you can have it both ways. You know what I mean? It needs to.
Sorry to budge in, but I think that we are assuming a lot of things. I don't see many of us have actually watched Villarreal playing. I took the pains to watch Villarreal against Real Madrid the last week, and believe me, you can go ahead and watch the game again. They were the better side in the first half. They dominated Real Madrid, right? So just go and you cannot go and say that Villarreal is a poor side and Manchester United is going to beat them. That's not the right way of assuming things. No.
Like,
I'm not saying Villarreal
everybody's
is a
just
very
forgetting about
poor
this
side.
whole, like, the board issue. Like, do you know what I mean? We have absolutely the whole Diallo thing as well. Yeah, you bring on young players when there's not so much at stake. So just say, like, you're winning 3-4-0 in a game like against Brighton or something, and there's fuck all at stake, kind of thing. Like, do you know what I mean? You bring on these players in them moments to bring, kind of build up that confidence. You don't bring them on in a final when you have to score a goal. because them sort of things ruin young players' confidence. You just don't do that. Like, you know what I mean?
And some of them make players carriers. Some of them do. A young player at the other might come off the bench and score, and that builds his confidence, and he
But that's
becomes
the risk you're
a great
taking.
player
Like,
in the future.
you have to ask yourself, do you want to take that
Exactly,
risk?
you take a risk. Exactly, Oli didn't take any risk. It's a final.
No, but
You
listen,
have to
man,
take
you're
risk.
talking about a young player that has never played in a game with like as big a stakes as this. So you have two choices. You have the choice to either build him up slowly, build his confidence up slowly, or throw him into a game like this that might ruin him for the future.
No, and I mean, I'm not saying he got started or anything, but
I heard the word risk there, and it's flashed my mind there because I watched it recently, the interview with Sir Alex Ferguson, and let's not get into a
and he
direct
talked about
discussion
risk.
on the two of them. But one of the main things, one of the first things he said, the guy, was risk. You got to risk. What he said to him was as well. These people work Monday to Friday. You play for them on a Saturday. You're their entertainment. You've got to entertain them. You've got to take risks. And he said it lost us games. It may have lost us trophies, but in the long run, it made a difference. It made people come and watch us. It made people be a fan of the club. It won us games single-handedly. And tonight, Ollie took no risks. No risks in the
We did actually. We actually did, Brad. We did. We did. We played Pogba in the team. We played Pogba in the pivot when no one was actually expecting it. You know, you can go and watch the stream last week. Everyone said Pogba is not going to play in. Sorry, everyone said
Pogba is one of the best midfielders in the world. Playing him in the midfield.
No. I'm saying all of us said Pogba is not going to play in the pivot, but he did start him in the pivot because that was a risk he was willing to take. And when we talk about risk, it is always a calculated risk that we've got to take.
No, Pogba.
Right?
We're talking about playing a team that nobody's expecting. We're talking about making a substitution even before halftime, or at halftime you're bringing on a substitution where you take a defensive player off for an attacker and attack the game. There was no.
Well, who are you bringing off, and who are you bringing on?
I would have brought Rashford off
Rashford, bring on Donny.
So basically, you'd have one substitution basically,
or you take a risk and you bring Diallo on.
So you can't do that to a young player, man. There's too much expectation on a young player.
No, it's not expectation. There's no expectation on him.
You bring him on.
No. That's ridiculous. The class of '92. Don't bring them on. That's too much.
But how is it ridiculous? Because every single young player. Why do young players get feeded into the team slowly? It's definitely not ridiculous. Like,
not all of them do. Look at Rashford.
Yeah, but Rashford came on when he was literally the last option. Like, how many people were injured when Rashford came on?
But it's not always a bad thing to do so. Look at Rashford. If that didn't happen with Rashford, we wouldn't be talking about him now.
If Van Gaal didn't take the risk
look at Rashford now,
a young player into a Euro.
No, Rashford had a poor game today, no doubt about it. But Rashford's one of our better players.
But he hasn't been really a good player for the last. I'd say this season. Like he's been pretty much terrible. Like, you know what I mean? Well, no, not this season. Sorry, the last 3-4 months he's been terrible. He's been terrible.
Okay. Well, yeah, because he's been very, very badly overplayed, mismanaged, and carrying an injury, as most people would have taken.
On the money shop.
Yeah, but
I mean, no one understands. Go on, please. Go on. Yeah.
You're saying that you need to feed young players into the team when it's the right opportunity. You don't start feeding them into if he hasn't played all season, you can't expect him to play in the final. Like, that's just not going to happen.
But we're not saying
what you got to say if you're gonna bring in more and more younger players into your squad, and it gets to the point where you're in an important game and some of your players are playing way below average, you can't say to me that you can't bring them on because what's the risk to their futures. You have to have confidence in the players that you've instilled a play style and go out there, and you can't do any worse than what he did. So go out there and make yourself a club legend, or just have a good performance, do something, change it up.
Yeah, and I know where you're coming. I know where you're coming from, but at the same time, that we feel like that issue falls more on the board than it does with anybody else because we haven't got the right players on the bench, and the quality drops off a cliff when we do bring players off the bench. You know what I mean? That's just the reality of it.
I
Like you have the
I
likes of Liverpool
agree.
who have like the likes of Shaqiri, who's been to a Champions League final. You have the likes of Oxlade-Chamberlain. You have Wijnaldum. Like Naby Keita. You have Man City's depth. Like we're not anywhere near that level of depth yet. Nowhere near it. You know what I mean?
Is Liverpool's squad on a whole better than our squad?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Without a doubt.
100%.
Can you name 3 of those?
Huh?
Go again, Romeo.
Shakir is a Stoke player. He's been to a
No,
Champions final at Liverpool.
Their squad
While
depth is better than
Naby
theirs. Their
Keita
first
is
11, I'd say, is pretty close. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about squad depth. We're not talking about first 11.
Well, what we're talking about is that final tonight, and the very fact that there was no tactical changes, there was no substitutions when it really mattered.
no in-game
And it
management.
no in-game management. It looked like at the end of the game, it looked like at an extra time we were playing for penalties when that should never be the case. You're going for a lottery, as people call it, which I don't really believe in, but you're going for you're opting for a lottery. Let's hope we win this rather than let's push forward. They've made their 5 subs early. Let's now make our subs react to what they've done, put the pressure on, try and get this goal. Because if it goes to penalties, it's pretty much 50-50. And we've got David De Gea nets, which Ollie had no intention of changing the goalkeeper, which I don't blame him on that, really. That's a bit of a mad one to do. But he knows that we're probably at a disadvantage in those penalties. And does he take a risk? Does he do something to try and win? No, I didn't see it.
See, but the way I look at it is the way he's looking at it is like he has 2 options. He keeps his best 11 on, or he brings on these players that are nowhere near the quality of his best 11. And
so Rashford playing at 3 or 4 out of 10. You're telling me there's nothing Ollie could have done tactically or with the substitution that would improve that?
I'd say he could have done one thing better. I'd say he could have brought on Van de Beek, put Pogba in the midfield, and that's it. Nobody else.
Why didn't he do it?
Yeah, but fair enough. He made one mistake, but that realistically, that didn't cost us the game. Penalties cost us the game.
What? But why did it go to penalties in the first place?
The attacking wasn't the issue. We were dominating pretty much the whole game. Like we had double the amount of passes. We were living in their half. The attacking side of it wasn't the issue. It was just
what were we creating anything?
Huh?
We actually were. We had more shots on target. We had more overall shots.
With 2
shots
on target.
I mean,
against the Spanish Burnley, who are 7th in the league, with 2 shots on target.
No, and just as I went on to say, had we played a little better, or had Rashford played a little better, he could have very well created 3 goals, 3 shot, goal scoring opportunities.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing better. So Ollie should have done something.
And he didn't come off.
Yeah, but you're talking like as if every time Van de Beek has come onto the pitch, he's
exactly. I mean, you can't have Rashford removed from the field and replace him with Van de Beek. Van de Beek doesn't play on the left-hand side. He cannot do a job on the left-hand side on a position that he hasn't worked.
Pogba does.
I just don't see how it would have been in any way different if Van de Beek come on, because I've seen him play like it.
No, and you'll never know. You'll never know now. You'll never know now.
You never know.
We're talking about what it could have been, but you tell me and really make me believe another top manager that would have made no substitutions, no tactical changes at any point during the 90 minutes.
But I think like if you're in the situation that he's in, I think you have very little choice.
Tell me any good manager was
like you have the likes of Matic, no legs anymore. Like you bring on Matic for defensive side of things, yeah. Agreed?
It's not answering the question.
What do you mean?
Do you not think any other top manager would have made any substitution or changed anything tactically? Like Pogba was saying there, Donny can't play left wing, but it's a simple tactical switch. You put Pogba up there and you bring Donny into the midfield. There's tons of things he could have done, and they may not be your most favourite players, and they may not be the ones that are the best ones, but it's a tactical thing. And if they have your philosophy in mind and they have that philosophy drilled into them day in, day out, 4 days of training a week if they've got 1 game, and 2 days, 2 games, and all the tactical things that they do, surely he should be able to turn around at a moment's notice and go, right, I need to change this. Right, you get your kit off, get on the pitch, do what I've told you already. We never see that.
Fred, have you not been arguing that Rashford hasn't been playing, but he's a player who can score his goals, who can give us assists, and therefore keep him playing? When we've been arguing the entire season that he's someone that we have to play, why all of a sudden when we have lost a final, you're going against
No.
your own
But the
philosophy,
thing
you're
is,
saying that we should have brought Rashford off?
no, the thing is, I said Rashford should have started because he can produce a moment of individual brilliance. But if after 70 minutes he hasn't done that, then you have to take him off. You tried it, it didn't work. You do something else. You don't leave him on for the
94th
entire
minute.
game.
Sorry, Aaron, go ahead again.
Wolves 94th minute.
90, exactly, and he's your best option to score a goal in the
I
finals.
wouldn't say he's your best option to score a goal, but like he can have a shy game for
He has
90
a
minutes.
magical moment in him. He has a magical moment in him.
Yeah. Realistically, man, the problem is with the board and not getting the right signings in. I don't think the problem is with Ollie. Like, I don't think there's much
I
more.
agree.
I don't think there's
I
much
agree
more
that the board doesn't.
to change that game. With the substitutes that we had on the bench, there's not much more you could have done. And in my opinion, I actually think it would have only got worse.
So let's bring this all around to a full circle. What you two are saying really is Ollie had no choice, couldn't have made any substitutions, any tactical changes, and if he did, it probably would have just got worse.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%, without a shadow of a doubt. I don't know why you're laughing, man. Like it's like you see what it's like when those players are playing.
You could have brought me on for Rashford after 70 minutes, and things would have improved at least 1%. That was an atrocious performance. Nothing was working. That's why it ended up 1-8.
But then we're talking. Rashford is pretty much the only player like that. Yeah, we're talking about Rashford having an atrocious performance and then coming up with like a magical moment. Like, you know what I mean? That happens a lot of the time. So then you're looking at Rashford having a really bad game, and you've seen him having a really bad game multiple times before. But at the end of the really bad game, he's come up with something that's helped you win the game. So why is it? So if he had to come up with a moment that helped you win the game, you wouldn't be talking about Rashford right now. You know what I mean? But that's happened multiple times previously. But now that it kind of suits the argument, this is what people are talking about.
No, but he didn't do. After 70 minutes, he looked done. He was tired. He was limping. Why not just take him off? You started him because, yes, he can do a moment of individual brilliance. He didn't. He looked done. Take him off. Change it. Take a risk. No. Why keep him on for the entire game? Even if he let him stay on for the entire 90, surely in the 30 minutes, you take him off.
I'm pretty sure you wanted to keep him on for the penalties, no? At that stage.
But take Pogba off.
Pogba has bottled a good few penalties.
So you wouldn't rely on Pogba more than the likes of Shaw.
So you
and maybe
prefer to you trust Dan James with a penalty instead of Paul Pogba.
Dan James.
No,
I'm
sure he didn't expect 11-10 on penalties either. Like.
No, but then he's been the one who's been with the players, and he's been the one who would have asked them to practice those penalties. So he would know better than us as to who are the people who can go with confidence and hit the back of the net. So let's not.
So you're saying that the manager of Manchester United played for penalties in a European final against a Spanish team in 7.
That is you twisting what we are saying. We said, let us not judge Ole on the penalties because he would know more than us as to who are the players who can go in with confidence and hit the back of the net. That is what I said. And then
you also agreed that the substitutions that were made were very strange and you couldn't defend them.
Yeah, no, listen. I agree with the substitution side of things. Yeah, I feel like he could have made more subs, but at the same time, I feel like it wouldn't have made any difference. So I feel like we're talking about the wrong things at the end of the day.
So at the very worst that could have happened is it finishes 1-8 and we lose on penalties.
Say that again.
We could have lost in the first 90 minutes.
So no, you're saying basically what you're saying is if he had made substitutions, it couldn't have got any better. So it's basically just going to stay the same.
I think it probably would have went worse. Genuinely, with the players we had on the bench, I think it would have been worse.
Okay. Well, that's your opinion, I suppose.
So at least try it then, and if it fails, then you can't say you didn't try. Well, he didn't try, and it's
Yeah,
like
but
he
then
wanted it to go to penalties.
But then, right, so you bring on the likes of Matic, and then we start getting run over in the midfield, and they score 2-1. We don't even get the penalties. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
You still lose, don't
you're
you?
stuck between a rock and a hard place, leaving your first 11 on, or bringing on players that are much lower in quality and risking losing the game
So
completely.
you're thinking Matic makes us defensively worse?
Sorry?
You're basically saying Matic would make us defensively worse?
No, but I don't think he makes us any better attacking. Like, we're not going to win the game with him. Like,
I haven't heard anybody argue about bringing Matic on, but what I have seen is no Diallo, no Donny van der Beek, and also if you're talking about what you're doing to players by bringing them on for the likes of Diallo, you're putting the pressure on. It's a final. Donny van der Beek didn't see the pitch at all tonight. There's been
you
occasions where
haven't
he's
seen
played
the
2,
pitch
3
the whole
minutes.
season, man. Why are we
Exactly.
expecting
Whose fault's that?
That's on the money.
He's seen 2-3 minutes at a time, maybe 5 minutes some games.
Yeah,
What is
so
that,
why are
what
we
is that
expecting
doing?
him to come on?
What is that doing to that player? You're talking about you don't want to put the pressure on the likes of Diallo, who come on and scored that goal that has got us towards this far in the same competition. But you're not mentioning that about Donny van de Beek. What's happening with him? If I was Donny van de Beek, I would be going into his office tonight with a transfer request and saying, "Get me out of here." Why am I not getting a minute
Yeah,
on
but
that
here,
pitch
listen.
tonight?
This is bringing it back to the original point. The problem is not with Ollie; it's the board. If Ollie wanted Donny van de Beek,
No, that's
he
the problem
played
with
Donny
Ollie.
van de Beek.
The board
No, but
have not neglected the board have not neglected Donny this season.
the
Brad,
board
spare
have
me 1
brought
minute here.
the board have obviously brought Donny in when Ollie did not want him in the first place. Otherwise, he's playing.
On the topic of Donny, he's someone that who can play in the midfield, yes. But can he be the single pivot? He definitely cannot. And therefore, the rationale behind Donny not, getting extra minutes or not getting minutes at all is that if you have someone who can play in the pivot alone, Donny can maybe play alongside him, right? Because he's not going to replace, Bruno Fernandes. He's definitely not going to do that. So the only place he can play in is a pivot. And do you trust Donny to play in the pivot with people like Fred and McTominay? You don't. And therefore,
question for you, bro. Yeah?
Is with the squad there.
Tonight, if you bring Donny on and play him in the pivot with Scott McTominay, who with most people would agree, Scott McTominay was our man of the match tonight. Scott McTominay was phenomenal tonight. I would have trusted Donny van der Beek to be beside him and play Pogba further up the pitch and bring Rashford off because Rashford was atrocious tonight.
Yeah, but then you have people criticising Ollie for playing Pogba on the left-hand side and not in the midfield. Like, you literally just can't win. It's actually mad, like, do you know what I mean?
Okay, so surely you try and change things and make the performances on the pitch better so you win the game and nobody's got anything to say. Rather than just do nothing, make no substitutions, make weird substitutions right at the end. 120 minutes of football at the end of the weirdest and longest season, and the most compact season, where people were playing 2 games a week, every week, with the exception of a couple of weeks. And you're relying on these same players to play every single game, where some of them, and I imagine some of them are getting injected before every game, painkiller injections, and then you've got ones that have just fallen off, like Maguire, Fred, Rashford and Lindelof. So there's 4 of our main players that play every single week, carrying injuries or injured at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Then when it comes to looking at the players that you have in the background, you've got to do with what your best with what you have. And he's got players there that have come in on his reign, and you might say it's the board, but that's there's no proof for that. He's got
But there's no proof, man. We all know what the story is with the board, like.
No, but there's no proof that you're saying that Ollie didn't want him. There's no proof to say that.
But if he didn't want, if he wanted him, he'd play him. Like, he hasn't given him a chance, literally. Like, if he wanted him,
Why hasn't
he would be
given
playing
a
him. It's not a case that you're guessing. Like, he's played probably all of 45 minutes across the whole season, bar games that didn't really matter.
But why is that then?
Like, listen, yeah. If last summer, yeah, you said we need to bring in a player, would it have been like an attacking midfielder?
Nope.
No. Why did we bring in an attacking midfielder when we had Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, etc.?
But to be fair, we do need a Bruno backup. in my eyes, anyway.
Like, we need a CDM, probably 2 defenders, one to go alongside Harry Maguire, one to be a backup, and they bring in an attacking midfielder, someone who's not going to get a game. That's not on Ollie, unfortunately. Like,
Would it be fair to say that we needed
But
another
he
left
can
back?
play in the pivot.
huh?
He can play in the pivot. Yes, he's not an. He's not.
Did we need Cavani?
Did we need Cavani?
Of course, we needed Cavani.
Of course, we need Cavani. Like, have you seen what he's done this season?
No. Before he has done what he. Would you say we needed Cavani to come in the summer?
Yeah, because Martial is very hot and cold, and we can see that. Ollie probably wanted Cavani because look at how much he's playing.
So how do you know that Ole probably didn't want Van der Beek to be a backup for Bruno?
Yeah, but we haven't been in that situation yet, so we don't know. But
who's in the washing machine? Who's that? Who's in the tumble dryer? Who's that? What? Is there a tornado going on?
Yeah, sounds like something mad's happening. Yeah.
Oh, jeepers. Anyway, so we can clearly see that a couple of us are. I haven't said Ollie out. I haven't said Romeo. Are you Ollie out?
I was a long time ago. I just didn't say it, and I'm not gonna say it, but I am.
So Pogba has sort of alluded to the fact that he's more thinking.
He's on the fence.
He's on the fence, but he thinks there's nobody that can come in and do a better job than him. Aaron, what's your opinion on Ollie overall?
I'm Ollie on the fence at the minute. I think next year is crunch year. I think he needs to get supported in the transfer market. Otherwise, we're going to be in the exact same position. We're just going to go through the cycle. We're going to get another manager in. The same shit's going to happen. The board's not going to support them, give them the players they need. And we're just going to be going through the motions, going through the same things again. So if he gets supported by the board and he gets what he needs next year, I feel like he needs silverware next year. If not, I feel like we really need to start looking at the board. I know we obviously are looking at the board, but we need to get the attention away from Ollie completely and put it all on the board, because it's just a never-ending cycle. Like, it's a revolving door. And when we go through these things where we lose a final like this, or we don't do as well in the Premier League as we'd like to, the pressure always goes back to the manager. But in reality, we never get what we need from the board. Never.
Do you genuinely believe that if you give Ollie 3-4 players that he will challenge for the league, or do you hope he will?
I think with what he's done so far with the squad that he has, I think he's done pretty well. So I'd like to see. I'm not 100%. I'd like to see where he goes when he gets everything that he needs, and then I'll make me judgment. But
do you genuinely believe that he can challenge the likes of City, Chelsea, Liverpool in the Premier League? Do you genuinely believe that? Are you hoping?
I feel like we'd definitely be up there, yeah. Look what happened when he brought in one quality player, Bruno. We went up by 8 points. So if you bring in another 2-3 quality players...
No, but Romeo, we finished second this time, and there's nothing that goes on to say that we cannot, given that Ole will get the support, there's nothing that says that we cannot challenge them again. I mean, I don't understand that.
We finished second, yeah? Some people think it's our best season since Mourinho, right? No, since Ferguson, I mean. This is Liverpool's worst season in 5 years, and they only finished 5 points behind us.
Yeah, but you've got to play what you've got to play, right? You can play an injured Liverpool, but that is what we've got in front. So obviously you compete against them. You cannot compete against the Liverpool side from 85s, can you?
So do you actually Liverpool did not have the best centre-back in the world. They finished only 5 points behind us. We had a full-strength squad for most of the season and only finished 5 points above them. So
I've heard the Scousers saying that they did not have their best CB, for the entire of the season. Let me remind you, that we did not have Paul Pogba for most of the season when he was one of the most important players in the squad. We've had injury setbacks as well. So it's not that we've had, a path of roses to walk down and get a second place. That has not happened.
Oh yeah, I think next year
I
is
said most.
the year is kind of is judgment day. Like, do you know what I mean? It's you've had your 2-3 years to build your squad. Let's see what you can do with that squad. If you can't do it, you need to move on. If you can, great. You
But
know what I mean?
doesn't today's game worry you that we all agree that our side is better than Villarreal's, right?
Yeah, but like, how many finals and
Hold
semi-finals did Jurgen Klopp get to before he
on,
actually won them?
hold on. We have a better squad than Villarreal, and he couldn't do it today. What confidence do you have that next season, even when you give him better players, that he will do better with those better players? When we had better players today, and he didn't do what was actually required of him today.
No,
Look,
Romeo,
I
going
feel
by
I
your
feel in one
logic,
off. Go for it, bro. Go for it. Sorry.
yeah, going by Romeo's logic, do you want to say that Chelsea is a better side than Manchester City because they have defeated City to win a title? And do you want to then say that their manager is better than Pep? Is that the kind of analogy that we are doing now?
I didn't
We
hear
know
you,
that
sorry.
finals are a one-off game. No, I'm saying that finals are a one-off game, bro. Right? Chelsea have defeated Manchester City, and therefore it does not follow that Chelsea's manager is better than Pep's. So you cannot judge Ole based the performance of a final, where I felt that we'd been the better side, but for some reason or the other we lost. So let us not make conclusions out of the result, and let us give him what he wants. Let us support him. Let the club support him with the signings that he wants.
Watching today's game, has it been any different from the games that we played this season where we don't perform that well, but a moment of individual brilliance and we somehow win? Today, and I think Aaron said it a couple of weeks ago, that Man United are known to come back from behind. So what's wrong with it? Well, today we saw exactly what's wrong with it. That it's not every game you can come back from behind. It's not sustainable under Ole. So I want to know if you guys actually think that what he's doing is sustainable, because we can't keep going behind and relying on individual brilliance to win every game.
Yeah, but at the same time, we also need a defender. We also need a CDM. There's a reason we're going behind, and the main reason we're going behind is because we don't have what we need yet, and that's the main issue across the board. Like it's something that there's gaps that need to be filled, and until them gaps are filled,
But
we're
we
going to be
go
leaking goals.
behind
We're going to be
almost
going 1-0.
every
We're going to be
game.
going a goal behind. But it's unfortunately we need a little bit more building. Once we build a team a little bit more, the likes of these things, it shouldn't happen as much. It
But we
might
go
happen in that
behind
game, but it
almost
shouldn't happen
every
as much.
game.
Huh?
But we go behind almost in every game.
Yeah, man, we have McTominay, Fred, and Lindelof. Like the nowhere near the standard that we need. Nowhere near.
Do we not
They
think
won't even play
there's
for the Wolves side.
What happened? Say that again.
I was saying that they would probably not even play for the Wolves side. Forget Manchester
Yeah,
United.
like a McTominay and a Fred in midfield. Like that's like you're talking mid-table stuff. Like McTominay, I think he has potential in him, but CDM wise, I just don't see it. Like, you know what I mean? I think he has more potential as an attacking midfielder than he does as a CDM. We're also playing 2 CDMs to guard our centre backs because they're not sufficient. Like, and the reason we're in that situation is because of the board. We haven't got what we needed, and until we get what we need, I don't think you can criticize too much. We're going to be conceding goals. It's just going to happen because that's the side of our game that we need to improve on by bringing players in, bringing better quality players in. Attacking wise, I think we're probably second in the league for the most goals scored.
Do we think there's perhaps a failing defensively in our coaching? The zonal marking that we seem to be relying on seems to be getting us in trouble
Set pieces as
game
well.
after game. Is it an argument where it's not actually the personnel, perhaps, that it's perhaps it's perhaps the
The coaching.
tactics that we're employing, the coaching. We don't see any difference. No matter what defensive lineup we seem to play, we always fall against the same things. Doesn't matter who's on the pitch. Set pieces, long balls, we always seem to fail there. And Harry Maguire is supposed to be the best header and physical player in the
It's
league.
not good enough having one,
Even
though.
when
I don't think. You
So
know.
what? So you want to have 4 big units of a defense? So
No, you want to, like, we're United. We want like a Ferdinand and a Vidic, and the reason we finished second and not first is because we only have one. You know what I mean? It's like if you drop a Van Dijk in beside Maguire, do you think we'd be leaking as many goals? If you put a Kante in front
You
of Van
could
Dijk,
drop Phil Jones next to Van Dijk and we'll still win the league. Come on now.
Say that again.
You could drop Phil Jones next to Van Dijk, we'll still win the league. Van Dijk makes anybody. Van Dijk is the defender that makes anyone beside him play good, and that is why I think Maguire isn't good enough, because he's an 80 million centre back. Yes, the price isn't his fault, but I don't see why we need a player to get the best out of him. He should be getting the best out of our players. Van Dijk went into the Liverpool team and makes Gomez, Matip better. Diaz goes into the City team, makes Stones, Laporte look better. So why do we need to spend another 60, 70 million on a defender to make our captain look better?
Gomez and Matip are miles ahead of Lindelof. Miles ahead. Lindelof, like he has no strength. He gets pushed off the ball constantly. Like, he's not a Premier League defender.
No,
We need someone better in that defense, so we're not
I
leaking
think
as many
people
goals.
just scapegoat Lindelof. I think people scapegoat Lindelof.
Huh?
I think Lindelof is scapegoated.
We seen the perfect example in the last game. The fella got shoved off the ball like so easily, and then they scored. Like, you know what I mean? It's just he's not a good enough defender, and that's just. I wouldn't even go as far as to say he's a squad player. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, folks, we're gonna have to call it there. We're coming up to 2 hours. I wanna end things. I was gonna do it myself, but it's been a great call, and we've had our things have got a little bit heated at times, but it's all good discussion, and I'm sure everything's all in good faith, and we're not gonna hunt each other down and whatnot. But we're gonna
I still
end.
love you, Zali. You're all right.
Oh yes, Aaron. And thanks for coming on. You're always good when you come on. I've left that number 4 there up to the side for the last hour, perhaps more, because there's a 5th thing date. I wanted to leave it at the end, and it's going to be dedicated to potentially one of the longest serving members at the club, and one who seems to be. It's a bit of a situation where it's, what have you done for me lately? With this gentleman, I'm sure you can. I'll let you guess. Who do you think it is?
Mata?
The hair.
Aaron, who do you think?
But say, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah. I'm leaving the 5th thing date to an individual, and I want to leave it on a positive note, because it's a bit of a what have you done for me lately situation with this player.
What have you done for me lately? Rashford?
No, but Romeo, you were right. David De Gea. I've seen a lot of hatred for him since tonight, and I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's warranted. What I think is it's a simple case of fine margins. I think Ollie addressed it in the post-match interview. He said it's a game that came down to one kick. Now, I don't particularly agree with that coming from the manager when he had as many opportunities as he had to change the game and not have it rely on one kick. But nevertheless, the sentiment is true. If Dave saves one of those penalties, which he very easily could have done, he's the hero tonight. But unfortunately, it's went 21 of the best penalties you'll ever see in a row. With
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Here and there, unbelievable penalties, to the point where their goalkeeper is putting one in the top bins.
Yeah.
It was screamer.
There were even De Gea's penalty, right? Because it's saved, it looks terrible. But even in that penalty shootout, there was a couple that were put in the same position, but the keeper didn't move or went the other direction, and it looked like a good penalty. And now all of a sudden, he's the villain. He's the bad guy.
That's a joke, it is, man.
Fine margins. If he gets a strong hand on one of them, he's the hero tonight.
Yeah.
I think they could have probably saved one or two, but I don't blame him because it shouldn't have gone to penalties in the first place. And David De Gea actually doesn't have a good record of saving penalties. So I think he probably could have brought on Henderson to save the penalties. He didn't have to, but De Gea doesn't have a good record of saving them. So I think
But
possibly he could have
that's
brought
what
on Henderson.
that is what we're doing, right? I mean, we're judging. There's a lot of hatred going towards De Gea just on the basis of one performance where he could not save penalties, and that is what we're doing with a lot of players, right? We're doing the same with Rashford. We're doing the same with Ole as well. So my
I'm not
question
sending
is,
hatred to De Gea, but he actually doesn't have a good record with
I'm just
penalties.
generalizing it, Romeo, not towards you. I'm just generalizing it. So my question is it fair on either the manager's part or on for the team as such to judge them basis one performance where it could have gone either way, or should we take things with a broader perspective and think of how the season has gone and then take a call as to do we want players in, do we want players out, or what is it that we need?
But I don't think people are judging Rashford on one game. He's actually been quite poor for the past 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And as for Oli, that game today I've seen so many times this season. It's not a one-off game. I've seen it so many times. We don't play well, and the moment of brilliance comes up and we win the game. Today, unfortunately, we didn't win the game because there was only one moment of brilliance.
David De Gea. We're talking about David De Gea. Can we say some nice things about David De Gea so I can go to bloody bed, please?
What? Yeah, I'm not judging De Gea.
David De Gea out, in my opinion, to be honest.
I just hope this is not his
joking.
last match, right? I mean, he's been one of the greatest servant to the clubs, right after Sir Alex Ferguson era, and he probably still is the best keeper in the club by miles, in my opinion.
I don't see where this whole David De Gea thing has come from at all. Like, it's literally just picked out of the sky from nowhere. Like, do you know what I mean? We have a leaky defense, and that's it. It's absolutely nothing to do with the keeper. Because I think David De Gea has actually had a pretty good season this year. When Hendo came in,
I think so. He's improved from last season.
Yeah, when Hendo came in, I felt like he upped his game a lot. And then since he went back to Spain to have his kid or whatever, it's been downhill from him. Like,
to be fair, he has made a couple of mistakes here and there, but then again, you rightly pointed out with this agenda of the press coming up and going after Henderson, that has been really, really bad. And if you compare the two goalkeepers, Henderson has a lot to learn from De Gea. There's a lot that he can learn from him.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Right.
It's 3:00 here, so I'm gonna call it a night there. Yeah.
Yes, Aaron. Thanks very much, Aaron. Before you go, I'm going to ask you two questions. Well, one, two questions, kind of. Say something nice about David De Gea first.
He's been an unbelievable keeper for us for such a long time, and I don't think the criticism he's had has been warranted at all. I think people are just looking to scapegoat and looking for somebody to blame. I also think the reason people are looking to scapegoat is because they want to get the English keeper in, and it's just an issue with the media, and you have this propaganda, and once people start seeing the same thing in the media over and over again, that unfortunately then becomes their opinion. You know what I mean? If you see something enough times, you'll think that's eventually that's what the problem is. Like, you know what I mean?
Tell a lie enough times, people will believe it. And then, Aaron, last thing is give us your one-word review of tonight's game.
Dort.
A lovely
Dort.
Irish word. That's Some people won't get that. It basically means means poo. Anyway, Aaron, great call. See you when I see you. I don't know what the plan is. It's just been a bit impromptu. Aaron, great call as always. Next, we'll do Pogboom next because you were the first into this call. Pogboom.
Yep.
Say something nice about David De Gea. Useless. Absolutely useless.
So I'm kind of running short of words because there's been a lot of criticism, and I feel that all of it has been unwanted. Yes, he's been bad on a couple of occasions, but he still is the guy who saved us on so many occasions, right? So he definitely is one of the best keepers around. I'd not say he's the best goalkeeper in the world, but he's such a good guy. It just feels so bad when people criticize players like him who've been serving to the club for so long. Right, he's probably been the player who in the current squad that who's played the most number of games, and he's saved us the most number of times. I don't understand where this is coming from. We've always been the kind of supporters who have supported our players, right? So let us not go after him. Let us support him, and I'm very sure that he still has at least 2-3 years in his bin, and then he can still be the number one goalkeeper.
Okay, and your one-word review of tonight's game.
Disappointing, mate.
Disappointing. It's a bit weak, but I'll give you it's a bit weak. Wasn't as good as Dort.
Certainly not.
You need to use that word just more, just from now on, Pogba, over the summer.
I'm going to learn that.
At least use that word once a day. It means food.
Hopefully, I don't get to use that in the next season when we play.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Especially with that manager in.
Oh my God.
Bye. Romeo, same questions for you. Say something nice about David De Gea, please.
Yeah, he's been a long-serving player. Think he's been disrespected over the season. He had a good season. He has made mistakes in the past, but every goalkeeper makes mistakes, and it's on that goalkeeper to learn from them, and he has. He has the right mentality to learn from his mistakes, and he has.
Yep, 100%. And your one-word review of tonight's game.
Atrocious.
That's the one. We'll leave it at that. Folks, Romeo, great call as always. You're always fantastic. Again, don't know when the next show is going to be. Could be tomorrow. Could be 5 years' time when we get new managers.
Season review show.
Okay, if
Season
you're watching
review.
in the morning, Romeo wants a season review show. I'm sure he would love to call in and
Rate every player's season out of 10 and the manager.
Yep. So Lindelof's definitely a 10, isn't that right?
Yeah, man. Lindelof 10.
Good man.
Been playing with a back injury and still our best centre back.
People aren't going to like your opinions now, but if you truly feel it, stick with it, because that's what I do. Anyway, Romeo, great call as always. Speak to you again soon. I hope so.
Thanks, Bradley. Good evening.
Good evening, folks. I didn't even do the fifth thing deep. To be fair though, I'll do it now. Hold on. Fifth thing deep. David De Gea has been unfairly treated. It is 3 a.m, so we'll leave it at that, guys. Again, I don't know when the next show will be. Verbs is in the building. -10. That's for Ollie. He told me just in the ear there. Big Man United fan says good show. I agree 100%. Jeremiah has hey, first time. You have definitely come back next time, because this isn't the normal show. KG's normally here. I've been sort of doing things. He has shooting tomorrow. So if you're watching this tonight, maybe you're just too tired to go to sleep, or you're too angry, go and watch Ted Lasso. He's in that. Go and watch Bloods. He's in that too. Season 2 of Ted Lasso is filming at the minute, so we'll be in season 2 of that. But yeah, we're going to call it a day. He's usually here, but he had to go because he's got filming tomorrow. And I've said this multiple times before. He's got a job, so he's got to go and do it. He come on, he said his piece, but he had to go. But he wanted everybody else to get their say and get something, get things off their chest, because obviously it's a very emotional night as United fans, and for other fans that really want to come out and have their say and mock us. You gotta live by the sword and die by the sword. So if you're gonna complain, or you're gonna have your digs at the likes of Arsenal, other terrible teams like Arsenal, mid-table teams like Arsenal, really really bad teams like Arsenal that are absolutely useless, like Arsenal. If you're if we're allowed to do that about them, they can certainly do it to us when we have an occasion like we have tonight. I'll leave it with my own final words. I'm not Ole Out. If anybody's been listening to me, it might be a bit of a strange thing to hear me say. I don't think I've ever said Ole Out. I've always lent that way. I don't think he's the future. I'm not Ole Out now for one specific reason. He's about to get a new contract. So you got to stick by him. And it's that anticlimax that we're going to end the show. Because it's been an anticlimactic night, hasn't it? Yeah. I'm not Ole Out. I'm Glazers out. Peace, everybody. Respect to everybody. David De Gea, I hope I see you in the United top next year. Ollie, we'll definitely see you in the dugout next year. Let's hope you get backed. Glazers out. Geo, yellow and gold. Get them out. Bye. I'm just nowhere near as good as KG. Makes it so effortless. He's so funny.